Hi guys, welcome back to Summer of the 90s and 1998. What are you supposed to be, Edward Scissorhands?
That's the 80s.
We're going to start with movies, because we're big Star Trek fans, of course. Star Trek Insurrection, which is one we disagree on. Yet again, I'll put that video in the description and go see our differences list of Star Trek videos, because to me, I was very disappointed in Insurrection, and I know you really liked it. I know. But to me, it was
You're not
pretty
allowed to
disappointing
be
movie.
disappointed.
It's not bad, but it was disappointing for the time. After, of course, one of the best movies there. Speaking of disappointing movies, this is when we got that American Godzilla movie in 1998, that 1998 one that was just... You're not a big Godzilla fan to begin with, but...
No. My brother is.
I really like Godzilla, and I should not have had high hopes for this one, but I remember I did as a kid. I mean, you're a kid, not thinking logically, and it was bad. It was not a good movie. But that was a very disappointing one, but it was one that was very prominent for me because I bought toys and things before I saw the movie, and then I went and it was pretty disappointing. But that was a big one. One that was not disappointing, it was a big surprise actually because I didn't think it was going to be good. Small Soldiers.
Yes.
That's great. I love that movie. That's a great movie. Kirsten Dunst is great in that. She was really good in like the late 90s. That was a movie that was total opposite. I didn't think it was going to be that great because it was really.
I love that movie.
It was basically a weird rip-off of Toy Story in a way.
Yeah, but it was cooler.
Great. I liked it. Yeah, it was a great movie. I think that one stands up like the test of time too. I think that one's
Some
fantastic.
people don't like it. Some people give it really bad reviews.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
very,
why.
very
I don't think it's...
mixed opinions. I think it's one of those you either love it or hate it. I think some people just don't get it, and some people really love it.
I just don't understand. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, I think it's
such a
so
beautiful
fun.
story.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like I think it's such a great comedic kids movie. A lot of fun, and of course a year for a great movie. And I had I brought my old beat up copy here. Do you remember when DVD first came out? You had a lot of these in that cardboard, like the whole cover and the spine. I think just fall apart over the years. But
that one is like
this was the year of Rush Hour, and I have very mixed feelings because I love Rush Hour. It's one of my favorite movies. But I also think it was the beginning of that Jackie Chan trend in America where everything was kind of like Rush Hour 1, 2, 3, the
20. Rush
Hour, in the Wild West, with Owen Wilson, and then even going to, Around the World in 80 Days. But this is kind of the beginning of the Americanization of a lot of Jackie Chan stuff. And I really love his 80s, but I still love this movie, so it's mixed.
A good movie.
But I love the first Rush Hour. In general, I like all three of them, but this is my favorite. And this one has a lot of memories, this copy here, because this was the first DVD I ever owned. A lot of people, it was The Matrix. For me, my first DVD I ever owned was Rush Hour. I got my PS2, which was the only DVD player I had in the house for about 10 years.
That's crazy.
I got my PS2, and I bought Rush Hour, and I don't know how many times I watched it in a row when I got home, just because it was so cool, to have DVD. It was a brand new thing.
Does it have special features?
Yeah, special features and things like that. But it was so cool, and I think too, because I only had a couple of games in the beginning too, so I played my games and then I just watched Rush Hour over and over again. So that was a huge deal for movies. I think that's it for movies. As far as TV, we got some really good, funny stuff at the time. Whose Line Is It Anyway? The American version. It was in the UK for a while, but here, but with Drew Carey and stuff like that. That was great. That was a wonderful, wonderful show.
Real Drew Carey.
Yes, real fat Drew Carey. Skinny Drew Carey is scary. But
he is.
And it was also the year that we got that 70s show, which I think is very surprising because it was really good. The first couple seasons at least, I think everyone watched that 70s show. I think later on it was more just fans of the show.
It got to the point where I don't know. It wasn't as good.
When I think of that 70s show, I think of certain episodes, I don't even realize, wow, pretty much all the ones I remember were the first 2 years.
Yeah.
But that was such a great show that I remember everyone watching. And do you remember the spin-off, that 80s show that lasted less than a season?
That was bad.
But that was a perfect example of why that 70s show worked. That 70s show was great because it made a really funny sitcom that happened to take place in the 70s.
Yes.
It wasn't about the 70s and they built a sitcom around it. That 80s show didn't work because they made a show about the 80s and then had built characters around it. So that's why that 70s show worked. And who doesn't remember Red Foreman? That's such
remember any of those characters. Those characters were very iconic.
In the beginning especially, I think that show is something I'll never just forget. It's something that's so iconic from that time period. But as far as movies and TV, not a whole lot that for us is personally memorable, but video games.
There's one movie that's
What's a movie memorable? What's another year? Oh yeah, well we're saving that for last. I would purposely say that for the end because that's special. Yeah, I didn't forget it.
Okay.
That's mind-blowing, but for a different reason. But I'm saving that for the end. But as far as video games, this is a huge year. Final Fantasy Tactics, a game that now is a treasured classic, but at the time, so many people had... Final Fantasy VII was their entry into the series, and Tactic is a totally different beast.
Yeah.
I think that threw a lot of people off. It threw me off at the time, too, because, I mean, I've been a fan since the NES game, but I wasn't expecting Tactics to be quite what it was, and I really liked it, but it did throw me off a little, too, like a lot of people.
Like 12.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
threw
it's
you
something
off
very
like
different,
crazy.
yeah. We also got continuing the Bungie love before they only have a couple years left until they turn to a crappy Halo company. But Myth 2 Soulblighter, incredible. Like, my friend Matt and I would talk about that game all the time. Great game. Xenogears is the beginning of the greatest loosely connected series of all time, and my second favorite game of all time that was just recently
That poor man
dethroned.
is like Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
everything,
keep getting pushed
everything
around,
he
keeps
does
getting
is just
canceled.
like...
Oh, we're gonna restart, whatever, different. But like one of the greatest games ever made. It's also the year we got StarCraft. So that's a big news right there. Especially, I mean, we're not Korean, but StarCraft is still like it's StarCraft.
You have to be Korean.
Yeah. Well, if you're Korean, it's like national sport. It's also the year Half-Life was a game changer. Half-Life, I remember playing on. I had a Windows 95 PC, and I got that beast. Yeah, I got that beast to run Half-Life, and it was so much fun. Half-Life was great. A lot of fun over the year, and then it was a good year for the N64 too.
It was a great year for N64.
So
we have rare games.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is the best.
Another fallen company. So.
Love Banjo-Kazooie, but they're coming back with something similar. I can't
Ukulele.
wait. I can't wait for Ukulele. But this was amazing. This was so much fun, and I don't know why you can't play this game. You suck.
I'm terrible at it. I don't know why.
So
I
much
can't.
fun.
The N64 controller is like
This
my
was
enemy.
so cool. I don't know how many hours my brother and I put into this. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But not as much.
Yeah.
We definitely
I think you put a lot more
time
time into that.
Into The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. To me, this is Zelda. When I think of Zelda, this is Zelda. This was the first one that my whole family played because we didn't have an NES or SNES.
Yeah.
So this was what we played. It was phenomenal, and back then we didn't have a strategy guide, we didn't have cheats, we didn't have anything like that. It was a simple time. We figured things out. It was just romantic. And this is so much heavier than this one.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
it's a beast of a game.
this
on
is
the
such a
64.
great game. And I absolutely love it. I like the DS version better. Just kind of sacrilegious, but this will always be.
Yeah.
This will always be a special.
Yeah. Speaking of figuring things out on your own, this is also the year of Grim Fandango, which I think is in many ways the last great point-and-click adventure game. I
really wish they'd come back with more.
They kind of are slowly a little bit, but nothing like in the heyday. And I think this was this is kind of the end. I think with Grim Fandango. I think this is like the genre is kind of dead as far as popularity, but yeah,
it's such a beautiful,
just amazing. And that's one of my favorites in that genre. If not my favorite, just I love artistically, and just to me the greatest hybrid horror RPG game ever. One that I play. Honestly, about once every 2 years, I think I play through.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Parasite Eve. I mean, you've seen me play it a bunch of times in the living room, but the first Parasite Eve 2 was also great, but it went a little too far into the trying to be more like Resident Evil.
The story.
Yeah.
Like, the
it's
story.
amazing. I love it. I love it.
I wish this was a book.
It is a book.
But one that I
you mean
could
like
read.
of this?
One that I could read.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the book anymore. But it's a book, and then they made a movie, and then they changed a whole lot and made it to... changed a whole lot and made it into an amazing RPG. And this... mind-blowing, and this is probably my favorite graphics engine of all time. This look of something like this and like Final Fantasy VIII and that type of stuff, like just absolutely gorgeous. This era of Square, I mean, this is one of the best games they ever made. It was also the year of the Game Boy Color, which is very definitively like 90's. Like just think of the Game Boy Color. It's one of those things.
I still prefer the original.
Although
I can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I was trying to play it the other day, and I'm like, I can't see what's happening, but. No, color was awesome.
Color was good.
Color was awesome.
And then we also got the most annoying toy ever made, released that year, Furby.
Oh.
I hated Furbies, even back then. Oh gosh.
This is my Furby. I don't know why I still have the tag on here. I think that was like a thing back then. He kept it. Shh.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep, Furby. Oh, he's sleeping with his eyes open.
Oh.
He's a little old.
Go to sleep. Okay.
I remember my mom looked everywhere for this Furby. I think it was for Christmas. And she ended up getting this one, and it turned out this was like a rare color because it's pry its eyes
white
open.
with blue eyes.
Yeah,
He's the Aryan Furby.
He's the Aryan Furby. And she just happened to get this. This was the one she grabbed.
Child Furby.
Because she said people were like insane, like grabbing at them in like Toys R Us or wherever she was. And this was a very rare color with the eyes. And I had a friend who had everything, and she had to have everything.
One of those kids, yeah.
And I remember her mom tried to get my mom to sell it to her. And my mom said no.
No, because you loved your Furby.
Because I love my Furby, and I didn't want to get rid of my Furby. I love the mechanical sounds that they make. I think that's I don't know. I think the new ones, I haven't really seen the new ones in person, but I feel like the new ones just aren't, they don't look like Furbies to me. They're weird. I think these are better.
They're in as geary, grindy.
Yeah, I mean, these are very annoying after like 5 minutes of playing with. Thankfully, he's asleep right now.
Yeah, so for 1998, there's only one thing left. And remember afterwards to let us know some of your memories from 1998 and come back for 1999. And we held this for last because when I found out a story about...
We were married, I
think.
Yeah,
we were married, and I didn't know this. And I found out something about you and this movie and your family, and it blew my mind because we're of that generation, grew up Nickelodeon and things, and we're going to actually do, after 1999, it's going to be a bonus video about this and her experience, because show them this.
This came out this year.
Yes, Rugrats the movie.
Rugrats movie.
Rugrats is a very popular series as we were growing up in the 90s.
This is the first Rugrats movie.
Yeah, yes.
There were
Paris and stuff like that, yeah.
But this movie came out, and Nickelodeon had a special on before this came out saying that at the premiere you can send in a postcard to Nickelodeon Studios, and they're going to pick, I think it was 4, I'm almost positive it was 4 families, and if you got picked you got to go to Nickelodeon Studios or not Nickelodeon Studios, you got to go to LA for the premiere.
And Chinese theater.
You can see the premiere, and it's all expense paid trip, and we entered. My mom entered 2 postcards for me and 2 for my brother, and we won.
Yep.
And we went to see it.
And you were in the commercial.
I am in a commercial.
And we'll show you the commercial in that video. So
yes, we are.
Definitely check that out. And
I'm famous.
I vividly remember that commercial. So without knowing it, I saw my wife like 15 years before I ever met my wife. So,
we were famous.
Yes.
So.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk all about that experience because she has a lot of loot too from that, not just.
I do have a lot.
We'll show the
cool
commercial
stuff.
and things like that. But yeah, you got to see the movie premiere, the Rugrats movie.
Very nonchalantly mention that to you one day, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
so that's the last great thing for 1998, and next one is the last video, 1999. So
it's almost over.
Yeah, it's almost over.
And then that's it.
And the world ended. Y2K.